YouTube? It is I, Sakarma, coming to you with another quick battle from Total Brohammer here. A little 1v1 action. I myself am headed the Wood Elves, and I am facing off against the Beastmen and Starachok? Starachok, sure. Yeah, the tree slash reindeer people against the horrible monstrosities, bestial monstrosities that lurk in the forest. Yes, it's a good fight. Close one. So the thing behind this build is I've been playing a lot of Beastman Rush builds, especially with what's his name? Kazrak, rather. I always call him Karak. Kazrak, who can forward deploy. So I brought this to counter Rush builds, and of course my opponent brings a Cygor build. So yeah, we're gonna see how this works out. This build is not at all optimal to face off my opposition here, but we're gonna see how it turns out. So what did I bring? I brought the Warrens of Thrall. I just think they're such a good unit. I mean, they're a good all-rounder. They're a Swiss Army knife. For 1200, they can fight anything. 33 weapon strength isn't the greatest, but they get a bonus versus large. It is armor piercing. 56 melee attack is crazy high, and they do armor sundering. 51 melee defense is also quite high for an infantry unit. Silver shields are huge, especially for considering no other Wood Elf elite unit has a silver shield. In fact, almost all Wood Elf elite units suffer to ranged fire, so yeah, that's huge. So that's why I like bringing them. Then I brought a couple of 4, I want to say, Dryads, 4 Spearmen, 3 Glade Riders with Hackman Tips. That's to counter Cygor play, or Centaur play. My opponent brought no Centaurs, so again, a little unlucky there. I brought Orion, who I think got some buffs in the last patch, so he's got a ton of health. We already knew that. His damage is quite high, his damage output. So against large targets, he's doing 525, and melee attack of 88. So when he gets into melee against large targets, he's an absolute terror. The only problem is his melee defense is very low and his armor is very low, and he has no physical resist. So other than his giant pool of health, and then of course Cloak of Isha kicks in, giving him about 44% damage resist, which helps him survive. But before that, he's very vulnerable, and he's also a large target. He's also a large entity, so he is you know, at risk of being shot. Oh, that's how you tell. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he is at risk of being shot by range fire rather, and of course being bogged down. Other than that, I also have a branch rate somewhere over here with Pendulum Penumbra. Let's see what I brought with him. Pendulum Penumbra, Earthblood, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and the Pendulum Penumbra. My opponent over here, meanwhile, has brought 3 Bestigor herds with a couple of chevrons, 2 spearmen, 1 Cygor, 2 Cygor, Gorbull, Brave Shaman of Wilds. So we can expect to see more Cygors, more of the Shadow Cave, and Centaur's great weapons. So a very small elite army, basically meant to protect these Cygors while they just whittle down my infantry. And of course, Cygors are deadly accurate, as we're going to see in this slow-mo. Oh, look at this rock come and just, you know, decimate. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 3 Wild Riders with Hackbane Tips, or 4. So just almost 10% of the unit wiped out as they're riding sideways. So these guys are very accurate. I know that the patch that they got a debuff to their accuracy, but does not appear so, or at least not significant. So and I have one more unit I want to talk about that I've hit up in the woods over here. These guys. So the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, great stats across the board, and they're going to be absolute MVPs in this match. So just because there's not a whole lot they have to counter it other than these Cygors. That's why I kept them in the woods, and to bring them out early, because I want them to throw out my Hagbane Tips or anything that's not these guys. These guys are very important. They're the only really answer I have to these Bestigor herds. So right away he summons up the Chaos Spawn out here. I'm not sure that was the best move. He probably should have kept them for later, at least, you know, got more utility out of them. But I guess he wants to bunch up my units and so he can start getting some rocks in. But I'm trying to aggressively outflank him. Obviously I don't want to engage in the front line right head on. There's no reason to. So I'm moving around as much as I can on both flanks. I'm bringing these guys around, just trying to get some shots on his Minotaurs with great weapons and his Cygors rather. Over here, I am trying to path through with these Dryads onto his Spearmen, because of course that's an easy win for us. My opponent's sort of, I don't know what he's microing. He's microing these guys, I guess, right now, just to push on the flank, which is a good move there. But we are going to get some shots onto these Cygors. Unfortunately, it does a good bit of damage when we do with those volleys on. There's only 45 models. They're not the most damaging, but we'll take it. Meanwhile, I have Orion here throwing his spears, chucking his spears at this Gorbull. That's a crazy amount of damage. Jesus, I should have kept him in the back. I sent him into fight because I thought it would do damage. You'll see later in a little bit, but yeah, did not do well. We have all these spearmen chasing this Chaos Spawn, which is fine. We have these Dryads trying to get on these guys. My opponent is now moving his Bestigor herds. I wanted to get these guys in line here so I can get a Pendulum Penumbra, but the second I try and cast it right there, they're going to knock me over. right there. He knocks me over and prevents the spell from getting off, so that's kind of unfortunate. So I went in there to support the Branch Wraith, hoping these guys could, be effective, could help him out in that battle. Over here, I'm moving it finally in with these Kornos. So here comes the Pendulum, and it just does good bit of damage, about, a third of that unit's health. I wish I would have done more. I thought they were quite clumped, but no, and these, I don't know what's killing, I guess just all these Cygors, and even Morgr has decent enough stats. They're just fucking up Orion. I didn't think he would die so quickly, but I've sent everything else in. Probably should not have mobbed them, but what can you do? I do have the mobility on them, so I am moving around with all my units, getting in here with the Kurnos, Wild Hunters of Kurnos. We're going to get a nice charge on these guys and do some damage. These Drads have been able to attack the Cygor, and we're going to do some good damage here. And look at that charge, just absolutely fantastic. They have no bonus versus large, but of course Cygors have very little armor, 50, and these guys are just absolutely devastating when they get on those charges. My opponent does summon in another Cygor, and he's going to start throwing boulders to the back of this little formation, which is a good move on him. Ryan's been absolutely devastated by this Gorbel. I thought he would do better, but no, he's getting fucked up. I am going to start casting his spells well before he dies, so that's one over there, and then I'm going to try and cast the other one over on this side. But yeah, he's aggressively pathing after Orion, which makes sense. But these these Wild Hunters of Kurnos have done a great job at whittling down the Cygor. The Gorbel is chasing Orion, but Orion is he has his buddies here, and they're going to provide that bonus, and they're going to nice charge him, but they're going to pull out right away. I'm just trying to ping pong back and forth, trying killing these guys. And I think I sent Orion against this Cygor, but I mean the Cygor kills Orion, which I was just shocked. I don't know why he fell there, but this guy's being poisoned. He's he's doing damage, but I guess Orion doesn't have the greatest melee defense, and just one smash with this boulder. I think, he gets hit by a boulder. Oh my god, that's an accurate boulder. He hit Orion with that boulder from a mile away. That's, Cygors. Anyways, I'm just bouncing back and forth with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, trying to do damage. Again, they're my only real answer to a lot of the units on the field. Of course, they're not going to do great against the Gorbel in straight-up combat, but they will do good damage to the Shaman and to Morgr, and of course we saw how well they can do against these Cygors. I think my opponent, he was throwing at these Wardens of Citharel, and I guess that's not a bad throw. That's not a bad shot, but the Wild Hunters of Kurnos are definitely the most dangerous unit on the field for me. Meanwhile, his Minotaurs of Great Weapons over here have been chasing off my riders with Hagblade tips to little effect. I mean, they're almost dead, so I'm fine with that. Over here, these guys are going to start putting this guy down, even though he's recovered, he's come back. They are really trying to get after my Branch Wraith, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just going to keep cycle charging them whenever I get a chance. So I got a nice charge in there. He's going to pull his pull down, but that's not going to be enough to stop the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and they're going to bring the beast down. Amazing. Over here, the Branch Wraith is fighting a Gorbel. Not a good fight, but we're going to get a nice charge in the side. And yeah, hopefully help this guy get a little bit away, or help put some distance between them, and then we're going to push through on the Cygor, and just, see, everywhere I go, I'm just ping-ponging these guys back and forth, hitting anything I can. They do a ton of damage to Morgr. Of course, he can heal, but still, I'll take it. My arrows are firing into the Cygor. The Cygor's almost dead. They have been able to get rid of my Branch Wraith, but that's to be expected. He's too slow, and the Gorbel's too fast. And really, the Branch Wraith isn't that important to me anymore. Really, all I need to do is make sure these Wild Kurnos can stay alive, because they can kill everything on this field. They're just such a good unit. We're using our remainder of our Hagbane tips to kind of get rid of these Minotaurs of Great Weapons. We're going to start pulling back our Cav and, trying to snipe out what units I can. Cygors, Minotaurs, even the Gorbel. Gorbel does have pretty high armor, but still, they're 23 damage isn't so bad. What's the armor piercing on these? So 4, so pretty rough, but still, it'll help. It'll do something at least. I'm going to send these guys over here to help break this flank, even though the damage is already done. All my units are pretty much dead, but they'll probably recover. This Cygor is melting away, as summons are known to do. He is using his rocks to get rid of some of these Drads, but that's fine. These guys, of course, will also whittle away over time. These guys will not, but they don't have much armor, so I can expect these guys to whittle to pretty much effectively deal with them. The Wild Hunters are here again, trying to get rid of this Cygor, and yeah, they're doing a good job of it. How many units do they have left? So they have 35, so they're doing very, very good. They are exhausted. They have been running around across the field, but yeah, these guys I should have had them braced. I guess I was microing elsewhere, but still, that's not a bad fight for them. This guy is pretty much dead. These arrows are coming in and finishing off these Minotaurs of Great Weapons at 4 models. That's fine. This Cygor has fallen. The summon's over. And it's actually not looking bad for us. I mean, of course, the Infantry Corps is defeated as we expected. They had 3 Vestigors. I had no answer to Vestigors. But all our mobile units rather, are still in very good health, and they actually have decent melee stats at 28, 24, 27. That's not bad. So they're not going to be terrible. They have some utility still, even after they're out of arrows. Over here, we're getting a nice charge on these Bestigors. That'll put them, put them to bed. They're done. Do they still have Frenzy on? I guess they do because they have full leadership. My God, their leadership is so high. Good for these guys. But yeah, so they're still frenzied. They're still in little murder orgies. They're ready to kill. But yeah, look at that balance bar just shift when he summons another Cygor. And at this point, I thought, oh shit, that might be the game, because all he has to do is just keep the Cygor throwing at these guys. But my opponent, I don't know who he starts aiming at, but we do get some nice shots on these guys. We are getting some fire into this Gorbel, but he throws the wrong unit. That is definitely not the right unit. He wants to hit these guys. If you get them off the field, it's over. But luckily, he is not really... Well, I think he starts to change at the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, but I'm going to get a nice charge on these guys. Just go right through him. He is going to get a good counter charge with Gorbel, but that's fine. We do a lot of damage. We get a little bunched up. That's not the end of the world. We just want to pin them. Then we're going to go surround this guy and do as much damage as we can. And see, even that charge from these Blade Riders did pretty good damage. And we get this guy surrounded. We do some serious damage. Of course, he's unbreakable because he's a summon, but still, that's good kills on our part, or good damage on our part. We do lose a few units in the trade, but that's okay. And I'm bringing some infantry back. My infantry is recovering better than the Beastmen, as you expect. They have pretty weak leadership. That's a big advantage that the Wood Elves have over Beastmen, is that our leadership is much higher. But over here, he is still throwing rocks. The balance bar is very much in his favor. It's actually, I mean, a little bit closer would be army losses, and that would be it. But that's why a lot of his units are actually recovering. But we do get the Spearman on the Cygor, and that's going to be doing some decent damage. Yeah, you can see 100 damage there, another 100 damage. So yeah, Spearman is a good little unit to have on them. Even the Dryads will do okay because of the lack of armor. What my opponent should have done is kept his infantry corps, or his leadership corps, near the Cygor, so he could support him. But instead, he was going to try and help out these Bestigors, and that was a mistake. And as he's turned around, we're going to get a nice surround charge on these guys and do good damage and just sort of muck everything up. As you can see, the Gorbel's leadership is going way down. But not quite enough to make him flee, which is unfortunate. But still, we're going to get into the Cygor, going to do some damage, prevent him from throwing boulders. And of course, he is losing health as time goes on, because he is a summon. He does fear off, or terror out one of my Hagbane tips, but it's not the end of the world. I still have the other two alive, quite healthy, along with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Are they still frenzied? They are still frenzied. My God, these guys just, I mean... They love murder. They love violence. They love murder. They're just happy to be in the thick of it, cutting down bestial monstrosities. Over here we have these little toothpicks, and we're going at his little knees. And he is just, yeah, murdering us. But the Cygor is almost dead at 900-something health, 800-something health, and counting down. So that's looking good for us. And it will help the balance bar once he does fall. As you can see, it's already going back in our favor. So we're going to get a nice charge here. And remember, guys, the balance bar is fake news. Don't trust it. It lies. She lies constantly. So over here, he's going to die soon, and we're going to see a shift in the balance bar the second he goes down. Okay, guess not. I lied, but I thought we would. But anyways, yeah, it's not looking terrible for us anymore. Still very heavily in their favor. But I have, all his infantry is routed and routed off the field, shattered rather. So everything that you see, all the Beastmen units are left here is all they've got. Of course, Morger and his patented stream of urine corruption, Uranus corruption, just, melting the ground, just doing his thing. But we've pretty much mucked up. And we still have, of course, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, who are no joke. And these units don't have much armor. This guy at 15, this guy at, or sorry, that's Morger at 15, this guy at 15. Yeah, everything's at 15. And then I think we've killed the Gorbel. So yeah, oh wow, look, that's the Cygor. I don't have the Cygor Gorbel, but either one. Yeah, pretty cool. And that's too big to be the Gorbel. So yeah, we've got the dead Cygor, but we have killed the Gorbel, and we're just gonna, just keep cycle charging. I'm shocked the balance bar is still so even. I mean, all they have is a British Shaman of Wild who certainly has no magic left, and Morger, who's out of what are they called? Chaos Bond summons. So I don't know why the balance bar is even this close. It should be much more in our favor, but as you can see, we're just gonna keep rushing in and out, and yeah, it's gonna be all she wrote. So let's just murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. So let's just speed it up. So it's a fun battle. I mean, you don't really see... I haven't seen the Cygor build in a long time. You see a lot more rushy builds, a lot of Senegors, a lot of Ungor herds and stuff like that. And I mean, it's a cool build to fight against, but it's also kind of annoying. Just especially as Empire or as Wood Elves or certain factions. Even when we won, the balance bar was still heavily in their favor. Or not heavily, but like only about 2/3 in our favor. So strange. The balance bar, guys, I don't trust it. I heard, do you know where the balance bar was in 1942? I don't. I heard it actually escaped to Argentina for a bit and was only recently rediscovered. So yeah, check your sources, guys. What do we really know about the balance bar? But Orion died very quickly. That was unfortunate. His magic would have been very, very helpful in dealing with these Bestigor herds. In retrospect, I should have kept him back and just started pounding this Gorbel with his spears and kept the Wardens of Cithrall beside him. Of course, they're going to take damage from the rocks, but at least we would be able to kill the Gorbel pretty quickly, I think, seeing how much damage he did with that first volley. So yeah, I'm going to use him more as a ranged lord. I've always used him more as a, traditionally as a melee lord because of his, the bonuses he gets once Cloak of Visha kicks in. However, I think I wouldn't say the new meta, maybe since the patch, I don't know, it just seems like he did not do as well as he used to. Maybe they've nerfed him a bit. I know it wasn't in the notes, but sometimes they do things without telling us. CA can be kind of tricky like that, a little tricksy traps. But yeah, no, he's still a good lord. I like his magic, I like his abilities, I like his utility. I just think I misused him. Branch Wraith, fine. These guys are I brought them to counter Ungor herd play. Of course, there were no Ungor herds, so what can you do? Wild Hunters of Kurnos are a great pick in this matchup with those silver shields, the crazy high speed, the physical resist, the 40 armor, which isn't great, but it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty bad, but still, it's serviceable. I don't know. I just think they can do, as you saw in this game, they were absolute MVPs. They were able to take down a couple Cygors. They were able to kill that Gorbel. They were able to kill a lot of this Bestirker herd, break up these infantry corps. They pretty much won me the battle. And this range core was huge. I mean, the game is still very much range focused. Of course, there's that single entity monster mash, but if you can end up with the mobility advantage at the end of the game, even when you have weak skirmish cav like this, you're often in good shape. And Spearman obviously didn't do that well. My opponent's side, Bestigors, 161 kills. That's a ton, especially on Wood Elves. But yeah, again, I brought a pretty wide build, Wood Elves, so that's to be expected. And there was nothing I had to counter these guys. Actually, a good pick, only because he very much played against what I thought he would bring. But yeah, unfortunately, I brought enough range that it made a difference. If I had not brought all these guys, it would have been trouble. But yeah, GG to Starachok, who's a nice guy, or girl, 2018. And it was a fun battle. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you around the bend.